Shakti pods here, too.
Gaudiya Vaishnavs. How many of you aren't even experiencing the message of the philosophies, experiencing what you know you could be experiencing? Huh? How many of you are so hemmed in by fear that you are afraid of even thinking of experiencing these things? That you're afraid of getting there in some way which is somehow unacceptable by the orthodox bullshit? Someone once told me that when a religion is not based on love, it becomes based on fear. And this is the truth. And this is what's happening with the post-ISKCON Gaudiya Vaishnava fallout after Prabhupada. And even before that, with the Gaudiya Math and other things. You're basing this religion on fear. What are you afraid of? If you have any fear in your mind, you can't be enlightened. And if you can't be enlightened by something that puts fear in your mind, then what does Orthodox do for you? You think you're honoring God? You think you're honoring Prabhupada? Think you're honoring Krishna? By allowing yourself to be programmed by this Orthodox? You think you're coming any closer to God just by taking someone else's orthodoxy and stuffing it in your brain? Look at me. I have tilak on, I have kuntimala, I have a sika. But I don't have fear in my heart or my voice. I'm not afraid of defying someone's orthodoxy. I'm not afraid of defying the conventional mode that certain people want you to be programmed with. Oh, and here they come, telling me, oh, well, you better not offend this, and you better not this and this and that. Fear, 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 fear. Pada 1008, Mukunda 108. Your religion is based on fear. It has nothing to do with Krishna. Nothing. You have fear and pride and ignorance in your hearts. And you're trying to tell me you're Krishna conscious? Pada 1008. If you're Krishna conscious, you wouldn't devote your whole life, Paranjan Das, to attacking other swamis. Swamis who you don't think are following the convention, who you don't think are perfect. Let me tell you, Krishna is the only perfect man. I don't care what you say about Prabhupada, he was not perfect. Any other guru, he's not perfect. No man is perfect. Krishna is perfect, period. Men are just perverted reflections of Krishna. Sometimes more perverted than others. You're not perfect, neither are they perfect. But that's not the theme of this message. I wanted to reach out to Hare Krishnas and say, remove the fear from your hearts, remove the dogma from your brains, and realize that Krishna consciousness is Krishna consciousness. This is the all-attractive Supreme Personality of God consciousness. This is a lucid awareness. This is enlightenment. Enlightenment is not sectarian. Pure being is Krishna consciousness. Pure being is never, has never been, and will never be the dominion of one sect above the other sect. Certain sects might have more advanced and high and more pure and more expanded philosophies. That's true. But the ultimate reality is not a sect. The regulative principles, the laws, the convention is a reflection of the mentality, of the mode of awareness and consciousness of those enlightened masters who have come in our lineage. But these laws will never give you enlightenment. And if you have enlightenment, you don't need these laws. They're just guidelines. And yet so many of these Hare Krishnas, so-called Gaudiya Vaishnavas, place these guidelines foremost, like some kind of insane fundamentalist Catholic preachers. I really see little difference between some Catholic zealots and these Hare Krishnas. These laws are not the answer. The answer is that you are relishing Krishna Prem in your heart. If you can relish Krishna Prem in your heart, you won't need these laws. And it says in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that the love of Krishna is superior to all these laws. Every single regulative principle, every single law takes a back seat to the love of Krishna. So whatever you have to do to bring out the experiential truth of Radha Krishna's Rasa Leela from your heart is whatever that you have to do to bring out that truth. It's time for a major reformation in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. We throw the dogma out the friggin' window where it belongs and realize the mystic truth of our philosophy. Realize the mystic core of this philosophy, beyond the religiosity, beyond the mundane, intellectual bullshit, beyond the oh but this and oh but that and oh but gay people are demons and oh you're this and oh you drank a Coca-Cola so now you're a demon. Beyond with all this. Start doing some pranayam, start doing some meditation, start studying Advaita if you have to. Study Avadhut Gita, study impersonalism if you have to get over this mundane conception and get to the actual experience of Brahman, where you can rise up into the experience of Krishna Prem. As long as you put Krishna Prem as your goal, and you understand in your heart that that is the ultimate truth, you'll be fine navigating whatever field, even whether it be Buddhist emptiness, shunyata, impersonalism. You can only gain from looking at them with Krishna Prem in your heart and seeing what they're really saying. Our philosophy is not Dvaita, and yet it's become Dvaita. It's become dualism. We're not dualists. We're not non-dualists. It says in the Avadhut Gita, some there are that prize non-dualism. Chapter 1, verse 34 of the Avadhut Gita. Some there are that prize dualism, other there are that prize non-duality. They know not the truth, which is above both. And this is exactly what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. It's not dualism, it's not non-dualism, it's above both. Achintya Bheda Bheda. Inconceivable dualism and dualism, and non-dualism. Inconceivable oneness and duality. Krishna is. That's it. Reality is. Reality is moving. Krishna is moving throughout all of the cosmos. Like it says in the Sri Ishopanishad, he can outrun all others. Or he moves faster than all others and he can outrun anybody. It says this in the Ishopanishad. Something like that. He's moving throughout the whole cosmos and back again, just like a tornado field, in and out and in and out and in and out, just like that torus geometry. He's all over the place, including you. Sri Rupa Goswami said, "What I would write if I had the choice between seeing Krishna, being one with Krishna, or being separate from Krishna, I would choose being separate, because when I'm one with Krishna, I see only one Krishna. But when I'm separate from Krishna, I see Krishna coming at me from all corners of the universe." And this is the realization of real oneness. Not only is there one Krishna, there's also infinite Krishnas. And you are one of them. And you are one. We are all one Krishna. And yet, we are infinite Krishnas. That is the Achintya Bheda realization. You're as much Radha Krishna as you are yourself. And it's time that we, as actual mystics, began to experience this. And not just think about it intellectually. Getting there in some way which is somehow unacceptable by the orthodox bullshit. Someone once told me that when a religion is not based on love, it becomes based on fear. And this is the truth. And this is what's happening with the post-ISKCON Gaudiya Vaishnava fallout after Prabhupada. And even before that, with the Gaudiya Math and other things. You're basing this religion on fear.
Shakti Seer 2.
Gaudiya Vaishnavas. How many of you aren't even experiencing the message of the philosophies? What are you afraid of? If you have any fear in your mind, you can't be enlightened. And if you can't be enlightened by something that puts fear in your mind, then what does Orthodox do for you? You think you're honoring God? You think you're honoring Prabhupada? Think you're honoring Krishna? Which you know you could be experiencing. Huh? How many of you are so hemmed in by fear that you are afraid of even thinking of experiencing these things? That you're afraid of